Well, we think Andy was fouled in the box in the first half for Scott down, I think it was, and obviously, as always, I've had a look when the game finished at the key incidents, and of course, looking at that, it certainly looks like a blatant penalty to me, and quite why Martin didn't give it, because he seemed to be in a very good position, which is the next thing you do to look at, and that has obviously been the difference today. But I'd have to say, breaking down Crystal Palace is never going to be very easy, as you can tell by all the teams they've beaten recently, beating Everton, Chelsea, people like that. And so those things need to go for you. But the last thing we needed to do was give a silly penalty away like we did. And really, in the end, we've paid a high price for that today. And when everything was looking like we were going to try and create another chance or another opening, we let them get ahead, and now they're going to defend even deeper, and continue to defend that deep with the team in their own half, because they've got what they wanted, and that's a lead, and they'll hold on to it as best they possibly can, and they did.
You had to reshuffle the defence today. What was wrong with Daniel?
He was ill. He was vomiting yesterday. The doctor went to see him this morning and said he was too weak to participate in today's game. I would have normally played Joey O'Brien at right back, but Joey has only recently recovered from a dislocated shoulder and hasn't even trained much with the first team just yet, so we played George in there, and I thought he did a very good job. But like I said, it's a disappointing day from the result point of view, but football doesn't mean too much to me today after what happened to Dylan the last few days, and when I heard the bad news about him passing away, my thoughts have been with him and his family, really. The sympathies might go to them, and it's a sad day for their family and for us, from a young man that put up such a great fight to try and live and continue to play football.
Sam, did it affect the players, do you think, in the build-up?
Not really, no. I thought the players played how they should play to try and break down Crystal Palace's defensive unit. I think that in the end, it's about one thing, though. When you get the opportunity to score, you've got to score, and that's what we didn't do today. We were pretty miserable in our finishing, not even making the keeper make more saves than he actually did. Was apart from the penalty being a silly one to give away, that was my big disappointment. Our quality of finishing wasn't good enough today when we created the chances we did, and you don't, against Crystal Palace, create that many.
With the last two against Spurs and Man City, do you feel like you need to get something?
Well, we've got West Brom next week, which is the most important game for us to concentrate on, and try and go and play as well as we've been playing, but make sure we get a result, because certainly the last two home games here, having got nothing and lost both games by 3 penalties, is a bit difficult to take, to say the least. But at least we've got the points gap looking like we're not going to put ourselves under too much pressure, but we are under pressure now because we haven't won in 3 games now, and we've got to really. In fact, we've lost all 3, so we've got to put that right on Saturday at West Brom and make sure we get a result. It's that simple. I always have sympathy by the fact that I'm as frustrated as they are, and I don't want to see my team losing when they're playing a game of football, particularly at home. But at the end of the day, when you are playing against a team that is very good at what they do, and have been for since he got his new players in January, they've got even better at it. Then you hopefully break that down and win that game 1-0. They hardly concede more than 1 over the last 10 or 11 games, maybe even longer. So we knew that it had to be more than likely us to score the first goal and try and win the game 1-0. If we got any more than that, that would be fine, but it would always be difficult. But our finishing failed us. Perhaps the referee failed us on the Andy Carroll foul, and in the end, Pablo really shouldn't have given that penalty away. It was a silly challenge, really, and we've now paid a heavy price for that.